Hi, I want to talk about something today that people really don't talk about publicly. And that's not because of shame, it's not because of embarrassment. It's just because we can't find the words. I want to talk about those moments when we're not failing. We are doing our job, and we're doing it extremely well. But those successes, they don't feel like anything. They're empty, void. And that's different. See, failure, when we do something wrong, when something goes wrong, that has a definite texture to it, a definite feeling. And yet those moments when we do everything right, there's nothing. It's void, it's empty. It's not burnout, it's not depression. If you look at it from a functional perspective, we're doing excellently. And yet we feel almost nothing. The day becomes moving through a tick list. Tick one, move on. Tick the next, move on. There is no gap between the tasks. There is no gap between the completions. Each task is ticked down without a moment of acknowledgement, without taking a breath to contemplate what we've just done. And by doing this, we're training our nervous system that completion doesn't mean anything. In fact, we give more attention to those moments when it goes wrong than when it goes right. So the day feels empty. It feels like a vacuum. Not because nothing happened, but because we didn't give the right things the attention. This is conditioning. This is how industry, how work pushes us forward. It's not a character flaw within us. So today we're going to dive deeper into this. Hi, I'm Damian, and welcome to the abundance frequency. So why don't we take those moments? Why don't we take a moment after each task, however small, after each task, and really just digest it for a second? In my experience working with professionals, this tends to be for three reasons. There's the illusion of a finite list. I'll pause when I get through this bit. But that bit never actually ends. We suddenly realise that somebody's added a load of other to-dos on the back end of our list, so we better get on with those. Secondly, we can see pace as performance. And when we slow down, it looks like we're not working hard enough. We're not working to our full potential. And thirdly, and this is probably the most subjective one, if we pause, it gives an implication of feeling. And that brings in other emotions. And there is a concern, we'll get bogged down with it. So the momentum of ploughing through our list is actually partly efficiency. And it's partly avoidance. Let me share a story about Sandra. Sandra was an operations director. She was meticulous. She did love her spreadsheets, and she was excellent with them. She was reliable. She hit every single deadline. She kept every plate spinning. No matter what the problem was, she solved it. When there was a team issue, she solved it. She was loved by the board, and she was loved by her team. And she came to me because, as she put it, she felt like she ran a marathon every single day, but had achieved nothing. And if you looked at her day, there was not a space between any of the tasks. As soon as she finished one thing, she was on with the next. And she just pushed through that day. Because, as she put it, when she stayed in motion, when she kept going, it meant she didn't feel like she was falling behind. It felt like she was on top of everything. And the weight wasn't from the volume, it was from all those little unregistered completions in the day. This is what was draining her. This was what was eating away at her. So, let's try something right now. Just take a deep breath, let it go slowly. And take one moment to think of something you have done today. It doesn't need to be huge, it doesn't need to be significant. Just one thing. And rather than moving past it and think, yeah, I did that, stay with it. It happened. It was completed because of you. Now just for a moment, let your attention drift down into your body. Can you notice any faint sense of satisfaction? Any relief? Anything like yes? Just let it come in its own time. Now, whatever you feel, however faint, however much of a thread, that's the signal. It's there. That's a felt value of achievement. And it's always been there. So take a moment. Don't tick it to move on to the next thing. That's the beginning of the counter practice. That's about slowly overturning all those years of compression. So what have we just done? That we take a moment and we take a breath, and it closes the loop. The nervous system registered. Something's happened, it's done. We shifted from the sympathetic nervous system, which I've mentioned before, to the parasympathetic in that one moment. Now, if we skip on, if we do the next to-do, we're leaving that moment open. And that creates an accumulated weight, as Sandra described it. That builds layer over years. And over the day, this trains our body to work on a task level. And so by doing this, by interjecting these moments, these breaths in between everything we do, our bodies eventually learn to close the day as well, which makes sleep easier. So we learn when something is complete, when something is done, and it only takes a breath, it only takes 1 second. As Sandra said, after 6 weeks, at the end of her day now, she closes her laptop, and there is a part of her that closes within. A part of her body says, my day is done, and she relaxes. This doesn't need thinking about. This doesn't need cognitive willpower. We are training our nervous system to do something a little different. We're untraining it from doing the let's just push through. Keep pushing through, because by keep pushing through, there is no completion. There is no success. We don't appreciate what we've already done. We're not recognizing our achievements. Your work isn't empty. The feeling you have is caused not by your work, but because there is a lack of space between the tasks. A breath, a single breath where you can digest what you've done and say, this is complete, this is done. And that space costs almost nothing in time. And it gives you the best return on investment you can imagine. So on Sunday's episode, we're going to build that pulls out. That 1 second in the breath. So we've got something different to bring back to Monday's desk. So when we start on Monday, we can handle things differently. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. And I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.